Welcome. My name is Catherine, and I love music. In this video, I will show you the albums I have by piano composer Elton John, and I became a fan when I saw Elton perform on The Muppet Show in 1978. I was 7 years old and taking piano lessons at the time, and I thought Elton was absolutely amazing. And he is amazing. He's a gifted piano player. And I'm going to begin by showing you Elton John's autobiography. It's called Me. And I really enjoyed this book. It was well written. And here's the back cover. I mean, just look at that amazing crowd. Almost 75,000 people at this show. And I'll show you my favorite picture in the book. So there's a young Elton at the piano. And when he was 11 years old, he got to go to the Royal Academy of Music at the age of 11. And it says in the caption of that picture that he could listen to a song on the radio or a record and go over to the piano and play it by ear just almost immediately. So he was really a prodigy at a young age. So the book says it'll make you laugh and it'll make you cry. And I'll give you 3 examples of the parts that are very moving and tear-jerking. The first one is his friendship with John Lennon, and they performed together at Madison Square Garden in 1974. The second thing was the Ryan White story, a young boy who got AIDS from a blood transfusion because he was born with hemophilia, and he was discriminated against and kicked out of school. And Elton read about it in a Newsweek magazine and learned that Elton John was one of his favorite musicians, and he just couldn't sit back and do nothing. So he came to the aid of that family and bought them a house so Ryan could go back to school. And in Ryan's final days, when he was on hospice, Elton went to the hospital every day and visited him until he passed away. And the third thing was his performance at Princess Diana's funeral, singing Candle in the Wind, Goodbye, England's Rose. I mean, he felt very anxious before that performance. He didn't want to let anybody down, didn't want to let the royal family or the public down. And he did just such a beautiful job on that song. And he only performed that song 2 times. Once at her funeral, and the second time to record it, which he didn't really want to do in the first place, but he only agreed to it if it could go to her charities and support her memorial fund. So now I want to show you a record. It's a good time to show it to you. This is the 45 to Philadelphia Freedom. And on the B side is John Lennon singing I Saw Her Standing There. So this is from that performance that they did together in 1974. And this would have been John Lennon's last public performance. And of course, in the book, he does speak about John's death and how tragic it was. And I mean, I can remember that day clearly on December 8th, 1980. So here's my first record. It's Elton John's self-titled record from 1970, released April 10th, 1970. And it has the singles Border Song, Your Song, which was the B-side, and Take Me to the Pilot. And Border Song is one of my favorite songs by Elton John. I also like the song The Greatest Discovery, which is about a little boy who discovers his baby brother for the first time. It's just such a beautiful song. And also the song 60 Years On. And here's the back of the album. We have the early Elton John band, and some of my favorite people are in this early Elton John band in the 70s. Next Elton John album is on CD. It's Madman Across the Water, released November 5th, 1971, and it has the singles Levon and Tiny Dancer with the string arrangement by Paul Buckmaster. And I'll say that Levon is another favorite song of Elton John that I like. I love how he pronounces garage in his English accent. And this is the back of the album. And I just want to show you these CDs I have because they're reissues. And it's shaped like a little record. Next album, Honky Chatuae. This was released May 19th of 1972. And it was his first album to reach #1 in the United States, the first of his consecutive #1 albums. And it has the singles Rocket Man, Honky Cat, and my favorite song on here is Mona Lisa and Mad Hatters. It's a song Bernie wrote about not liking New York, but it's sure a beautiful way to express a dislike. And I also like the song Salvation. Next album is a very clean copy of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. The artwork on this album is absolutely amazing. It was released October 3rd, 1973. We have Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Benny and the Jets, and Candle in the Wind. And this album was 8 times platinum in the US and sold 20 million albums worldwide. It won the Best Album of the Year for the Grammy. And in 2003, it was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. And here's the back. And it's a trifold. It's a little difficult to unfold and show you, but I know many of you know what it already looks like. And I'm going to show you kind of a unique album. It's a radio station promo. And it has 4 songs on it. The songs are Sad Songs Say So Much, Blue Eyes, Nobody Wins, and I guess that's why they call it the blues, with Stevie Wonder on the harmonica. So I'm going to show you this album. It's on the back here. It's on the Geffen label, and it's probably hard to see, but it says it has Elton John's signature on it, right here, Elton John's signature, and I'll see if I can hold this up so you guys can see it. So the front of it has the 4 songs, the A side, and it has the grooves, but the back side is totally blank. So I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, probably not. But anyway, scratched on the surface, it says, "All the Best, Elton John." And I looked it up on Discogs, and it's legitimate. There were 500 of them released in the US to promote his 80s singles, to get them played on the radio. And it isn't really worth a lot. I mean, people are selling them for $5. But I just think it's kind of cool. I don't know if it's a real autograph or not because it's not on pen and ink. So the next album is Elton John's Greatest Hits. I also have this on CD. CDs are inexpensive. I can get these for $2 or $3, so that's why I don't have them on vinyl. But it's a nice collection of songs. Many of you are familiar with this. But it doesn't have Levon, I guess because Levon peaked at number 92 on the Billboard Hot 100, so I guess it's not considered a greatest hit. But it has Border Song and a nice collection of those early songs. Next album. This is one I bought in high school. It's Elton John live in Australia with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, released June 13th, 1987. And this was the last concert performance before undergoing surgery on his vocal cords. The surgery was successful, but he had to take some time off to recover. What's great about this is it has 6 songs from that first debut album, my favorite album. It has track 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 13. So it's no wonder I like this. And it's all songs from his best years from 1970 and 1976. So this was issued in 1987. So this must have been a great concert to hear him sing all those early hits. And it went platinum in the US. It sold 1 million copies. Okay, the next album is another comp. So this gives me all his hits from 1979 to 1987. And I do like some of his songs from those eras. Of course, I guess why they call it the blues. Mama Can't Buy You Love, Little Genie, Sad Songs Say So Much. I'm Still Standing, and the reason I have this is because of his tribute song to John Lennon. It's Empty Garden, Hey Hey Johnny, and Blue Eyes is on this one too. So that saves me some money, so I don't have to buy too much vinyl. The next album I bought in 1989. It was released August 29th, 1989, and it's called Sleeping with the Past. I think this is a great album. It's actually his best-selling album in the 80s. And it's dedicated to his songwriting partner Bernie Taupin, and Bernie Taupin and Elton wrote the songs on this album. The album features Sacrifice, Healing Hands, and Club at the End of the Street, and Sacrifice went to #1 on the US Billboard Hot 100. And this is also his last album before he checked himself into rehab for alcohol and his other addictions. The next album is also a compilation. It's Love Songs, and this was released in November 6th of 1995. So this is the year that I saw Elton John in concert. I saw him on the Made in England tour. I did have that CD at one time. I just think I traded it in because I had this one. It has the singles from that album on it. And yeah, it's just a great collection of his love songs or ballads, and I love those. So we got Can You Feel the Love Tonight from Lion King. I get both the Lion King songs on here, The Circle of Life. And there's a new track called You Can Make History Young Again. And it has Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me with George Michael, Someone Saved My Life Tonight, Your Song, Daniel, The One. So it's really a good collection of songs from Elton John's catalog. And then the final album I'm going to show you is a comp that I thrifted. Yeah, I have a lot of comps. I'm sorry. I know it's kind of boring for videos. But I think this is his best comp. It's a 2 CD set, and it's just got everything on it, including Levon. It has to have Levon for me to like it. So those are my Elton John albums that I have. I mean, I hope one day to find Tumbleweed Connection. I want to find that because I really love the song Burn Down the Mission. And that song is so great live. And one more thing before I go. I have an Elton John piano book. And the first song that I learned to play was Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King. So it has like 40 songs on here. So this will keep me busy for a while. And I want to say thank you for watching. Please in the comments let me know what your favorite songs by Elton John are. And also, what are your favorite albums? And have you ever seen them live in concert? Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.